Oh, you found a negative to this video, did you?
I found one negative, which actually
Oh.
came up pretty early. So, the best performing content is built with intention. It doesn't happen by accident. There's always a reason why it works. Sometimes it's a hook, sometimes it's a structure, and sometimes it's simply just the editing. So in this series, myself, Ricky, and my good friend Rod will be breaking down some of the most successful short form content on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And in today's video, we have 3 really different styles to unpack. The first one is a tutorial that I found on TikTok that was quite impressive. The second one is this awesome vlog in Japan on YouTube. And finally, we have an entrepreneur that's doing an educational podcast style clip that I'm sure many of you guys will recognize. All right, so Rod, I found this video on TikTok and I thought this had a really good visual hook. Wanted to show you to see what you thought of this.
The speed run effect. And here's how to do it in under 30 seconds. Upload your footage on CapCut. Make a cut at the start of your clip and a cut and where you end. Now highlight the middle clip, go to speed and 10x it. Next is to scroll over to motion blur and drag blur to around 100 and blend in between 10 and 30. To sell the effect, add a couple of lightning effects and you can even add this cool whoosh sound effect, which you can get if you comment flashy daddy down below.
Yeah, wow, I think it's really good.
Obviously, the visual hook is really good. We got a pattern disrupt into really nice framing. I mean, this guy clearly is a pro, right? Yeah, I mean, look, he's into personal branding. I don't want to go too much on the intro because, I mean, obviously it's very good, but I want to talk about the structure. The structure here is super underrated. Something that a lot of people don't do is they don't reveal the end result at the beginning. My assumption when I see this is that if I watch this video, I will be able to make the same effect that he just did. And the thing that I think is even better is he says, do it in under 30 seconds. That's a point that a lot of people forget to add in because it's setting the expectation, right? And I've talked about this in another video about food. You know, if you do a video on, I don't know, what's a really difficult recipe to make that most beginners can't do? You're a chef.
Croissant.
Okay. If you show me this really lovely croissant and then you're like, here's how we're going to make it, I'm just going to be like overwhelmed with the process. But when he says it's in under 30 seconds, he's now making it relatable to anyone. Because clearly, if it's under 30 seconds, you don't need to be a pro editor. The other thing that I want to talk about in this video is at the end, he then has a call to action, which is actually quite clean and actually makes sense to the video. He says, if you want this whoosh sound effect, which is obviously an integral part of the effect, he leaves that in and actually tells you, comment down below to get this effect, Flash Daddy. And now he's creating engagement on his video, which obviously is going to help push it out, also give him more connection with his audience and also help his brand. But I think the structure of this video is super underrated and I think there's a lot that we've learned from this video.
Yeah, the whole under 30 seconds thing I really agree with as well. It's giving an expectation of time to do these things. I think it's a little bit bullshit, let's be honest. 30 seconds, you're not doing it in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to fucking do it.
For sure, he's definitely pushing it with the 30 seconds, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you understand why he says that, right?
Yeah.
And I would probably do the same. I would probably do a shorter time frame to get people to go, wow, that's an awesome effect that you see in Marvel videos that I'm doing in 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And on top of that, he's actually using CapCut, which is a very common editing tool, especially on TikTok. So I'm not sure if this video is on other platforms, but when you look at the fact that it's on TikTok, this is really relevant video because he's using CapCut, which is used by like 99% of TikTokers to edit their videos.
So it's a super relatable, it's a good idea. Visually it looks good, but it's also able to be taught to anyone, which means this video can go quite wide. It's not going to get niched down too hard.
Okay, Ricky, so this is a video that I really loved because of the journey and then the sort of cuts especially that he creates to add to the journey. So let's take a look.
This is how much I have to eat to cycle 100 miles across Japan. So the plan for today is to take on my biggest day of riding yet at around 170 kilometers from Imabari to Tokushima. This is probably going to take me about 10 hours or so. So to get on the road as early as possible, I hit my hotel breakfast right when it opened. And let me just say, as soon as I saw the lineup, I knew it was going to be a good day. Compared to most hotel breakfasts in Japan, this place is one of the very few that aren't afraid afraid to bless your boy with a little bit of protein. Now, is it the optimal pre-workout option? Perhaps not, but I wholeheartedly refuse to only eat carbs when at a buffet. As I got moving, the ride kicked off with these beautiful long stretches of empty rural roads and a little bit of propaganda before I rolled into a cafe for my first pit stop of the day. Online, I saw that they had these voluptuous fruity waffles, and you guys were gonna be like, oh my gosh, Josh, that looks so good. We love you so much. But unfortunately, you can't order those until later because I guess waffles are technically considered desserts here. I know. Blasphemy. So instead, I got some non-dessert cream-filled matcha roll cake and also another non-dessert ice cream sundae, which were both delicious but felt a little more desserty than the sweet little waffle that I longed for. As I put my rubber back to the road, I set off into the mountains for a few thousand vertical feet of climbing and highway riding as I pushed to this famous udon shop that's apparently supposed to be a must-stop if you're passing through. Here, they serve bowls of handmade udon made fresh, and while you're waiting for your food, you can go and pick whatever fried tempura or odin you'd like to supplement your meal with. I decided to go with some squid, octopus, and kakiage. Back at the table, I ordered a bowl of their beef udon and decked it out with some of their self-served soy sauce, sesame, tempura, and ginger. For me, I typically go for ramen over udon if I have the choice, but in this case, the broth was light and sweet and the noodles were super fresh and bouncy. And altogether, everything cost me less than $7. Now, I've got about 70 kilometers left in the day and the clock is ticking. So aside from a hydration stop or two, I cranked out the remainder of my ride through some quiet mountain roads and was even fortunate to find a nice bike path as I rolled into Tokushima after about 105 miles of riding and having listened to the entirety of The Hobbit from start to finish. As you all know, I take my nutrition and recovery very seriously. So, to patch myself back up, I was able to make it to this little karage spot right before it closed. On their menu, they offer sizes ranging from a little bit to medium. So, I went with their medium size, which packed around 20 pieces of chicken and came with some rice, soup, and a few different sides. The chicken was nice and crispy on the outside, but still hot and juicy on the inside. The total spend for today was a little over $100, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
That was a very good video.
More a video than a short.
Yeah, wow. So this video got 343,000 views in just one day, which is crazy. That being said, he obviously has a lot of subscribers. Okay, so what gravitated you to this video? Why did you want us to look at it today?
Okay, honestly, the main part of this video that I really liked is the intro and the first part of his day before he even starts eating, where he's telling you, okay, how he's going to prepare and what he's going to do. I just love that because firstly, he's got different clips from during the video as well, during in the intro, for example, like him cycling, and then he's got a little cartoon there on the map. He's got him opening the door. So it just creates this storyline where you want to not only see what he eats, which is what the video is actually about, but also what he's going to do, where he's going to go. Another thing is as you can see, it goes from POV to a camera on the left to a camera on the right. Yeah. He's got his camera angles really right. Yeah. And I think this is one thing that we don't look at as much in terms of short videos, especially on TikTok. You don't see as many people worrying about where their camera angles are and what their background is or how their cinematography matches their story. In general, though, you can tell like in almost every component of this video that this guy is a pro and he's thinking about what he's presenting to the audience. He's thinking about the angles, he's thinking about the voiceover, he's thinking about the storyline and where he's putting each clip. To kind of top it all off, he's got the pricing and subtitles on there as well that just makes it clear what he's doing and how much it's costing.
This is insanely well done. I think people severely underestimate or underappreciate how much effort and time and preparation this would have taken to make this video. I mean, the thing that I wanted to bring everyone's attention to is like when he's eating here, small things add up in content. He has a camera angle like this, then he has a camera angle there. Then he has a camera angle here. Then he has a camera angle there. Like small things like that make such a big difference. It really does help increase the engagement. We get different angles, different perspectives. Because if he was eating from the same angle at the same time, even if he's cutting a lot, doesn't have the same engagement. You know what I mean? We could talk a lot about this video. I mean, even just the scripting, the narrative.
It's so advanced.
Yeah, it's really good. Advanced. Like this guy's I mean, there's a reason why he has 1.2 million subscribers. The only thing, and I don't want to get all critical here because clearly this guy is a pro. And
you found a negative to this video, did you?
I found one negative, which actually came up pretty early. So let me speak my piece here.
You're kidding me. All right.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to bring in a negative, but the thing that I would say though, and this is a very common storytelling thing to do whilst you're editing, right? Or in film. So we know we're on a journey, but we don't know where we are in the middle part. He does, actually, funnily enough, when I thought about this, he then kind of saved himself because he said, so here he says, now I've got about 70 kilometers left in the day. So it's actually funny. I was thinking, I don't really know where we are at the journey at around this point. But then he kind of saved himself with this comment. Once again, being nitpicky, being critical. I think it would have been better for him to bring back up the map with his little frog and tell us where we are and how much further we have left in the journey instead of saying 70 kilometers. Because at the end of the day, this is a very fast-paced video. Like, when I read that, I'm not thinking, oh, what did the map look like? To be honest, I forgot how long the whole journey was anyway. Yeah, I think it would have been good to just resurface the map here again. And then I think that this would be a 10 out of 10 video. There's nothing else that I could fault.
I think that's actually a very good point. I would say that because he brought that map up at the start, bring it up again at some point, especially at this point, as you said, where he's directly referencing the kilometers. Even saying 70 kilometers, like, okay, now I'm being super nitpicky, but you could go bring up the map and then say something like, with slightly over halfway, right?
Yeah, something that's probably better.
You're not really, like, I don't really know where that 70 kilometers is, right? Yeah. I'm just watching a video very quickly. I'm like, 70 kilometers, that means nothing to me really as a viewer.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's so fast paced. This is for me a 10 out of 10 video.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to say, even though I did bring up a negative, this could be one of the best shorts I've watched in a long time. Just want to put that. I just want to make that clear before all you haters in the comments are like, oh, you're hating.
Because we analyze so in depth, we pick up on little things because we're really analyzing the video in detail. Oh, of course, there had to be a Hormozi one.
The man, the myth, the legend, Hormozi. I'm not even subscribed. That's crazy.
The famous Alex.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this came up on my feed. I think, I watch a lot of Hormozi content, even though I'm not subscribed, which is crazy. Now, this one's quite simple, but sometimes simple. Actually, let's just fucking watch the video.
If you don't have the life you want, you can change one of 6 things. Stick to anything daily for an entire year. Move cities. Upgrade romantic partners. Eliminate drinking and say no to shiny objects, anything that's not what you're currently working on. And you can go to bed every day at 9 p.m. If you don't like where you're at, just try one.
What do you think about this video that I really like?
I'm actually going to ignore what you liked because I don't really care if you liked it or not. But what I liked about it was the fact that it's such a quick video, right? This is like, how many seconds is this?
17 seconds.
17 seconds. And he's giving you 6 points of life advice in 17 seconds. Now that, firstly, is an achievement in itself, right? But the main point about that is that each point needs to be so clear and so understandable for the viewer. They read it once and they understand what he means. And he's done that with all of these 6 points.
I've actually got 3 things that I want to talk about here. I'm going to list them off quickly. So the first one is, he says, if you don't have the life you want, you can change one of 6 things, right? So straight away, obviously opening up with a value proposition. The thing that works for Hormozi is like, this isn't going to work for most people, this hook, because like for me, I'm a nobody. If I said this, no one's watching this. Doesn't matter how good the advice is going to be, no one's going to watch it. But because it's Alex, he has the reputation or the authority to do a video like this and open with this. The thing that I really like is that he goes one of 6 things. So already we know that there are going to be 6 tips. For most of us, we're going to stay till the 6th one, particularly if it's rapid fire. Once again, it's setting up expectation. What is the video going to be? What value am I going to get? And delivering on the payoff. The other thing that I want to talk about, and the next 2 points are going to be mainly about editing, because I do have obviously an editing background. I really like the way he changes the font of the text. It's a small thing to keep our retention. So as you can see, keeps changing the text, And then the final thing that I really like, which I don't think a lot of people really realize unless you're an editor, is the pacing of this video through the sound design is really good. Now, I'm going to play it again, and I want you to see if you can pick up on it.
If you don't have the life you want, you can change one of 6 things. Stick to anything daily for an entire year. Move cities. Upgrade romantic partners. Eliminate drinking and say no to shiny objects, anything that's not what you're currently working on. And you can go to bed every day at 9 p.m. If you don't like where you're at, just try one.
Did you notice the pacing on the video? Even though there was no emphasis through visual means, through the text, you know, we didn't see any larger font, we didn't see any crazy animations. The way the editor has cut this, and it's actually genius, he's actually on the beat. The important point comes out. And a lot of people are not going to consciously know this, but these are the little things that really add value to your videos. Let us know in the comments which of these 3 videos you like the most. And if you enjoyed our content and you want to see more short form content breakdowns, leave a like and subscribe to our channel.